All right, we are live. Hello, Raj. Welcome back. It's great to see you again. How are you?
Hi, Chris. Great to see you. I'm fabulous.
Excellent. Today we are going to talk about your CV and your portfolio of evidence for the FHERDSA application. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay, so thank you for forwarding me the documents. I've had a look at them over the last few days. So we can go through them one by one, I think. I think I'll start with the portfolio of evidence first. I think the CV is kind of more personal and not so important. Overall, I think the portfolio of evidence is great. I try when I was looking through it, I tried to sort of pick apart some of the statistics or pick apart some of the numbers or things that I usually do when when I'm assessing applications for awards and things like that. Okay, so but I think yours is very strong, and there are only a couple of minor suggestions that I would have, and they're not really how can I put this? I don't think they're necessary. They're just suggestions, if that makes sense. Okay, so you feel free to take them on board or just stick with what you've got. Does that sound okay?
Oh, absolutely, Chris. I'm looking forward to your suggestions.
All right, let me do a screen share here, and we can
Uh-huh.
come up with this. There. Okay, I think I'm okay. I should be sharing now. Can you see it?
hmm
Okay.
Yes, I can see it.
So, first of all, I guess at some point you'll put in the quote saying the title saying this is my evidence portfolio or something like that, right?
hmm
Because it
hmm
kind of just starts from nothing.
hmm Yep.
Now, so you start off with some quotes, okay?
hmm hmm
And are they linked to in your document? So I think it's very important that if you just like you link to your philosophy, you're teaching philosophy. I think it's
hmm
also important to link to these sort of evidence things when appropriate. So, for
Okay.
example, there might be a big photo or something that you can't actually include in the 500 words that you do for your different criteria within the body of the application. But it's also always good to link just so the reader knows or the assessor knows that if they want to look something up, they can.
That's
Okay,
right.
so
Yep.
that would be sort of a general overarching comment. Now, speaking of comments, great comments from students and staff here. Um, there are just on the eye there are sort of five in a row. So one of the, or at least, well, actually, there's a whole page of them. Okay, so one of the um, sort of rookie, not rookie mistakes, but a common mistake is that people put too many quotes in. But then I'm thinking this is the evidence section, so maybe it's okay to do that. You certainly wouldn't want to do that in the body. You wouldn't want to have 10 quotes in a row. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Because the assessors
Okay.
will not read them because
Mm.
more quotes doesn't necessarily strengthen your case. But then
hmm
again, this is like an appendix of evidence. So maybe actually, it's okay. It's okay. So I'm not sure if I have a strong opinion on that, but
Mm.
let me think about that. So let me get back to
Yeah.
my
And what?
document. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and I think while you're thinking about it, I think I agree with what you just said, and I was also thinking that maybe what I can do is I can have some categories, or those categories could be linked with my criterias, and then those of the codes which go under those subcategories, I pop them there, adding a line or two, and then put the codes,
Yeah.
something
Why
like that,
not?
and then
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
that way I can in the criterias I can say that refer to evidence section, and then
Yep.
I can have those separate segments, and then I can have the codes which belong to those segments. Does that sound sort of reasonable?
Yeah, look, it sounds very reasonable, and I think just from memory, I think I might have mapped that in my application. And I think it was I didn't do it immediately. I think it was actually a suggestion of the reviewer.
Okay.
So like it sounds good. If you can make it as easy as possible for the reviewer, then that's a good thing. When you write a paper, you want to make it easy for the referee to go, yeah, that's great. Let's publish that, right?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
think the reviewers, because the reviewer may be looking at, quite a lot of these things, and they want to make it as easy as possible. So that would be one way of
Absolutely.
mapping and referencing these things.
Absolutely. That makes sense.
So let me keep on going here. So these are all amazing quotes, right? I mean, this one's good. Raj is not only a good researcher, but also an exceptional teacher, which is a rare combination to find. And then it talks about your personality, dynamic person, a lot of zeal, vibrant, genuine enthusiasm. So that's pretty good.
Hmm.
That's one to hold on to. Okay, all right. So on to the stats. Let's get into the stats here, Raj. All right. So I know we've talked about this table a little bit in the past. I like it.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
very easy to read. It's very well set out. Um,
Hmm.
Now the only thing I would so you've got your student response. These are the student response rates down this column, which I'm just highlighting. Can you see that?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So the only thing that I think that's missing there is with this rating is potentially the error bounds on the confidence intervals,
Hmm.
but that is completely icing on the cake. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? I don't think it's necessary, but if you included them, it would just show the reviewer that you've actually thought about it. You know what I
Okay.
mean? So you sort of you've got these response rates here, which is good because you're showing that you've thought about that. But what does
Hmm.
that mean in terms of the final results here? Um,
Hmm.
with like is it 75% plus or minus 1% or 75% plus or minus 10%? Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
And that,
Okay.
that is pretty easy just to compute the confidence intervals. If you wanted to, but again, not
Mm.
not necessarily more icing on the cake. It just would show that you've thought about that.
No, I'll definitely do that. Yep.
Yeah. Just if you've got the time, it strengthens the case. It also shows that yes, you've thought about it, and yes, you've sort of used some quantitative, statistical ideas to strengthen your case.
Yep. Yep. That makes sense.
All right, let's keep going. All right, so now you get into the population health 302, which is great. I like it how you've made this star down the bottom.
Hmm. Hmm.
And you've sort of you've made a note about that. I like that.
Hmm.
That's good that you explain it there. And these graphs are very compelling. So
Hmm.
the way when I looked at this graph about the satisfaction rate, you can see the improvement, right? So
Hmm.
so sort of moving from this from this point to this point to this point, it's all improvement, okay?
Hmm.
And you've sort of quantified that with the improvement of 37%. Brilliant, looking good, okay?
Do you think I should also have error bars here as well?
Oh, I think that's less important to me,
Okay.
but
Okay.
if you want to, and you've got the time
Hmm.
to do it, why not?
Hmm.
Why
Okay.
not? Because then you could actually compare the two sets of data. You could do a t-test or something, right? And show
Hmm.
that well, actually the change is statistically significant. So
Mm.
you know what I mean? So when you're comparing two sets of data,
Hmm.
you can this student t-test, and
Hmm.
and then you can say, well, actually, you know, we've done this. P is the p values small enough, less than 0.05, and that's just statistically
Hmm.
significant.
Yes.
So it's sort of up to you, Raj. I mean, I'm biased because I'm a maths person, um, and whenever I see a properly statistically underpinned argument, I'm far more convinced than
No,
those.
I absolutely love the ideas.
I remember I was assessing an award, a teaching award, a couple of years ago, and this person said, "Oh well, I have 100% student satisfaction, right?" And then I looked a little bit closer, and they had one response out of 100 students. I'm not kidding. This is a real thing. This is real. And
Oh
then
my God.
there was another story that I heard of a statistician who was going for an award, and they had no statistics to support their argument in their paper for some reason. So stats are useful. It's only one part of the argument, right? You want to triangulate everything as
Absolutely.
much as you can, um,
True.
but it can be a compelling and important part. So
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend it. So let me keep going here. Okay, so we're back. So I like that. See, growth is valued. So improvement is valued. You're not necessarily having high scores all the time, which is okay, but you've improved, which is good. And some would argue
Mm-hmm.
that's better. Some teachers, they just have 100% or 90% satisfaction all the time. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
good. You can't improve much on that, but you've definitely made some gains there. Okay, so
Mm-hmm.
this graph here, Raj, the teacher was an effective teacher. So when
Mm-hmm.
I saw that, I'm like, oh, it's gone down, but there's been a change between 2016 and 2017.
Mm-hmm.
So, so do you want to explain that to me? Because I think that's less compelling than the other ones, but just because
Mm-hmm.
it's sort of gone down a bit and then sort of spiked up a bit. So
Mm-hmm.
is that because you've tried some innovations, or what? How do you explain that?
Yeah, yeah. So basically, what we have done is 2016 semester one and semester two, we went ahead with the way our seminars were. We couldn't change them much because if you have done one cohort, you can't change the thing for the next semester within the same year. You need to wait
Yes,
for a year to do the changes. So
yes.
we could see things in student feedback around the way we were running seminars, which students sort of didn't like that much, or they wanted something different. But we couldn't do those changes in 2016. We had to wait till 2017 to do those changes, and as a result of that, you see that there's a dip in 2016, but then it comes up in 2017, and we just got our 2017 semester 2 evaluations back as well, and thankfully the values have retained. So it's 2017 semester one goes up, and the for semester two also the value is almost comparable or similar. So it doesn't dip; it stays. So which
Right.
is good.
Okay.
I'll be adding all that data here as well.
Great. So there's some sort of longer sustained kind of improvement or high standard, right?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Okay, all right. So that's good. So let me move on. Okay, now this is great. Love this. Love this graph.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because the column on the very right hand side, that yellow column, is very
Mm-hmm.
compelling. Why? Because
Mm,
it quantifies the improvement.
mm.
Okay, so that is gold. It's almost gold colored, but it's gold as well. Okay, so I love that. I love that. Okay, and the same with the next one with the one. And you can say, well, there's a couple of negatives in there, right? But the thing is,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's not going to be perfect, and that's just an opportunity for
No.
you to think about those or target them in the future. And in fact, that might be
Mm-hmm.
one of the things that you might want to sort of really zero in on and go, okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
feedback didn't. There was a big improvement in course content being well organized, but
Mm-hmm.
there was, not much of a change in the helpful feedback. So that's
Mm.
something that you can really concentrate on for the future years. Does that make
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Mm-hmm. No, it does. It does. Yes.
Okay, nice photo. Um, yep. So they're just links. Again, good photo. Good photo. Nice tie. Okay. Yeah. So I mean the visual pictures are good because it adds something to the evidence, right? So people can actually just look at the picture and go, right, there's Raj doing his thing,
Mm,
talking about what employers want, etc. Okay, and this
mm,
is
mm,
the little message that Joseph has sent you, which is
mm-hmm.
good. Okay, good, nice photo there. So is there an audience though? Where's the audience? You're the audience.
This one, so basically, what happened was these were heats which were not open to the audience.
Gotcha.
So the preliminary heats happening, and then the finals where they pick the top 10 from the entire university. Then they make it public.
Okay, all right.
So only the participants are here. Yeah.
Only the finalists. Okay, another good one. Ah, also be aware, Raj, that I'm just highlighting the URL now. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Mm-hmm.
some assessors may prefer this electronically, and some may actually print it out. So
Okay.
if they print it out, they're not going to type in the YouTube URL.
No.
So
Yeah.
one suggestion there is to make a tiny URL, which is something that you can choose that is a very easy thing to type in. So it's like a URL shortener that so
Mm.
somebody can just type it in if they want to. That's just again secondary thing. Same with these things, right?
By the way, is it possible to make them shorter? Like, can I do something to make them shorter
Yeah, just
on
go
my
to
YouTube channel?
tinyurl.com, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
tinyurl.com, and you
Mm-hmm.
you type in the URL that you want shortened, and you can
Mm-hmm.
suggest a name. You can suggest an actual URL. So it might be Raj1, or Raj2 or something.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's
So
easier for
try it.
them to type then.
Very easy, very easy.
Oh, that's a
And
fabulous suggestion. Thank you.
yeah, because some people they're they won't be as technically advanced as you, so they may want everything in hard copy form. Okay, so the Butland
Mm-hmm.
Awards, excellent. That looks great. And the article from Auckland University is great. That's a good photo, by the way. I like it how you've got the screen and and then there's a photo of you watching you. You know, so that's very cool. And then there's something about your research, which is brilliant. I love the dog
Yeah.
too. Oh, that's your puppy
Oh,
George. Okay, fabulous.
yeah,
So,
that's George. He's become quite big now.
how old is he now?
He is 1 year, few days,
Mm.
and he has almost become double the size of what he's originally there. And he's reasonably well behaved, but sometimes he can be a bit naughty. But then, on the whole, he's a lovely puppy.
So, and is it a 10-page limit, Raj? I'm not sure if there's a limit on the.
Yes,
I've kind of
yes, I
temporarily
think there is.
forgotten. Okay, and you filled the 10
There is.
pages
It has to be
because you
10 pages.
okay.
Yes.
So I guess a couple of things to pull out of the conversation there. One is a heading. The other one is
Mm-hmm.
think about linking and mapping your 7 criteria parts with parts in the evidence portfolio.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the third one would be think about the statistics.
Mm-hmm.
Comparing data, putting error bounds in, confidence intervals, those sorts of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I think other than that, I don't think I had. Oh, and URL shorteners if you feel the need.
Yeah. Oh,
I think that I
absolutely.
think that was
I
it, right?
Yeah, I think that's a great suggestion. I think everything is great. I'm definitely going to incorporate all of these, Chris, and hopefully improve the version of my evidence.
Good, good, good. And the let me just share the where is it? The CV. Nice photo. Look at that
Uh-huh.
moustache, Raj. You've been waxing that moustache. Can you see?
I have
Wow.
been actually for
Wow.
that photo. Yeah.
That's like a LinkedIn like mega profile photo or something. It's amazing. So look, to me, this is a personal thing. I don't think I'm going to talk about this at all, really. In fact, it's just a standard CV. You've got your publications there, you've got your work history, you've got a few media in the media. Interesting that you do sign language. I didn't know that. I guess that comes with the
Mm,
territory, though, working in
mm.
your field. My mum also knows sign language, and she used to teach sign language. So
Oh, wow. Have you
yeah,
picked up
yeah, yeah.
something?
No, no.
Okay.
I was just a little boy when she was doing it, but she's one of those people. I think they call them polyglots. They can speak a lot of
Polyglot, yeah.
languages. Yeah. So
Yes.
she can speak like 7 or 8 languages, including sign language. So she just picks up
Oh.
languages very very easily. But I thought that was great. And is that something that you learned when you started your research, Raj? Or
So the sign language I learned when I was studying audiology,
mm,
and I had lots of deaf friends as well.
Mm.
So to communicate with them, I of course needed something. So that's how I picked up and I learned it. And in India, there are several languages spoken. So I know
Mm.
almost like 6, 7 languages as well, but they're all regional languages. They cannot be
Yeah.
used overseas and stuff like that. And but hey, look,
Wow.
if you have any comment on the CV, feel free to let me know. I would like to know your personal preference. Like, what do you personally like? I would just
Mm.
like to know. In case if you have anything, feel free to let me know.
I will. I will. I don't. To me, I don't see it's a big thing.
Okay.
I think. I think it read well. At the end of the day, I don't particularly. I'm not particularly. Um, I don't know. I don't know if I'm not particularly interested in CVs, but CVs are just information, really. Do you
True.
know what I mean? It's just a way to sort
True.
of say, look, this
True.
is what I've done. Um, but I think yours had the necessary information and then a bit of personality in it as well. So I think it's
Okay.
fine. But
Okay.
let's go into the green room, Raj. Is there anything else that we want to
No.
discuss before we go off air?
Yeah, this is perfect. Let's go to the green room. Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Raj. I'll see you later.
Thanks, Chris.